Dan, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, try that. Beautiful. It's there. We give everybody 10 seconds and we're on it. Nice. Anybody's kids or grandkids in summer break yet?
Graduation.
Yeah. Porterville has graduations this week and
July from boot camp.
all right, Dan, that we can get started. Everybody, please stand for the flag salute. Salute, pledge.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Amen. Please have a seat. Bear Mortgage. Representing Bear Mortgage?
I am, and Leo's supposed to join me.
Well, we can wait for you. We'll wait till
Surprise.
Yeah. So we'll wait for that. Come on up.
All right.
So we're gonna put you in the first spot instead of second position. How's that? You got some handouts, so let me help you with the handouts. I'll start the back of the class. Just run out set. Good morning. We'll be right on right after that. Pretty bum.
I just gave you about the part.
No, I know.
But it's like,
This is the second time that's happened. The schedule's on this stuff.
No, I think I need to.
So it was in the first calendar, kind of.
Tell them to send my.
I'm sorry, created you when I emailed.
I don't. Okay.
Yeah, that was the last one.
Hi.
Well, good morning, everybody. What you guys got here is bio plans or bio one. Does anybody ever have properties that you guys need to clean that are in bad shape? Take it away. Introduce yourself.
My name is Tony Martinez. I am the owner of Bio One. My traditional 9 to 5 job, been in law enforcement. I've got coming up on 21 years. I work for the Department of Corrections as a parole agent. I monitor, which I'll be watching when you guys are pretty soon. One of the guys that you were talking about, I monitor high-risk sex offenders. That's what I do. I've got about a year and a half before I can retire.
What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to it. It's been a long career. It's tough working in corrections inside those prisons. But so I started looking at things that what I wanted to do after the fact, and I got into this. Basically, it's crime scene cleaning. That's our specialty. That's the niche. We do bio, right? So somebody gets murdered, suicide, unattended death. We're there to go ahead and clean up the mess that people don't want to do. What happens after somebody passes away? Somebody dies, suicide, right? The coroner comes and picks up the body, but the mess is still there. That is the specialty in what we do. We offer a lot of different things as well. So I'm sure you're like, well, how does that pertain to us, right? So we do meth and fentanyl decontamination, right? So we're also specialized in that. If you end up getting a home on the market that was a former like drug meth lab facility, all that stuff, yeah, the material may be gone, but all the chemicals, it's just like a smoker, right? When they're in the home for long periods of time, all that stuff stays in the walls, right? And so in order to sell a home, if you know or have been advised that there was meth in the home, right, you might want to get that cleaned up before you sell it to a home. Kids walking around, crawling on the ground, touching the walls, they do everything, right? So we're trained in that aspect. We do also traditional junk hoarding, junk removal as well, but we also specialize in hoarding. I have a hoard right now that I'm working on out at Hanford at the Remington. It's a senior living facility. where basically just the room is just overflowing with stuff. And we work closely with the family and we take care of all that as well. And so typically a lot of the things that we do, everybody just assumes that all we do is just blood and bio, right? So we do a lot of different things. I'm currently doing a bid for the VA in the Veterans Office in Fresno, where they're going to do a bunch of construction. And in the midst of doing their construction, they realized that there's a lot of bird poop. And the construction guys, and they're saying like, hey, we can't go in there and start knocking off all this old bird poop because it's going to create a bacteria that's going to just start floating everywhere, and my guys don't want to be exposed to it. And so they had to put out a bid to do bird remediation. So we do that as well. So we're not just the guys that just come out and clean your solar panels. That's a good thing. But what happens is that all that all that animal waste just runs off into your sidewalk and into your front area, and it's not decontaminated. So there's a lot of bacteria in bird poop. And so we just did recently over this past weekend. I don't know if you guys are familiar. There's a charter school right there off of Main, right next to Bank of Sierra. There's a Learn for Life charter school, right? So they had bats up in the building, and there was a lot of bird bat droppings up there. So it took us 3 days to get up there, got it all cleaned out, and then obviously we decontaminated, and then they wanted us to remove every one of these panels, which we got up and vacuumed everything up, and then of course when everything hit the ground, because things are going to fall from up there, so we wiped and decontaminated everything. And so and just up until recently as well, which also I will have a guy that I just hired who is a mold certified. So that was a market that I was missing. I get some real estate agents that would call me and say, hey, do you do mold? And up until this week, I did not, because I was not trained in mold. And so I hired somebody who's going to be trained. And so it's actually one of my sons. So he went through the training. He's all done. So he's good. Yes, we do. Yes, we will. We will. Yes, absolutely. So I thought it was fairly pretty easy. I mean, you go on, I've seen the stuff, but to back, to have a good backing, there obviously needs to be reported. And I can sit there and say, hey, yeah, there's no mold, or there's minimal amount of mold, but we will generate a report that could be used, that you guys can hand the client over and say, hey, this was tested and this is the findings and we're good to go. So I know it's important for you guys to be able to do that for the seller or the buyer. And so that's something that we will be offering as well. And so I just want to let you guys know that we're here. A job that we recently did, well, not recently, it was probably about maybe 2 months ago, was at we also do commercial stuff, right? So at the Dollar General store had taken possession of a building. They were going to remodel and launch a new store there in Fresno. So they ended up going there. The building was boarded up. It was a vacant, empty building there in Fresno. They went inside and it was overran with homelessness and mess. There was feces in just about every corner. There's urine everywhere. I mean, trash, junked out. So they were like, oh my God. They're like, how this is possible? The building was boarded up, right? And so, I mean, obviously people are going to break in. They're going to get in. They're going to do what they do. And so that one took us about a little over a week. It was a big building. So go in there and get everything done and cleaned up. And so, if you guys find a home that you guys, that maybe a client wants to sell, but they're hoarders and they're junk houses, you're like, I can't sell it. I can't sell this house like this. We got to clean this up. And so I'm here. We're here for that. Now, also too, just as a, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but we also offer a referral program, right? So if you send somebody my way, if they take the job, then, I'll be kicking down a card of your choice, whether it be, Starbucks or, Amazon or Target, whatever. I'll kick down a, $100 gift card and stuff like that. So that's just for thank you and partnerships and relationships. And so I'm all about that. Nothing goes undone. And so I'm willing to do those type of things. Question?
No.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
What would the average cost be if somebody wanted to have mold identified?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the research, because I have guys that are in mold that I know, they typically charge anywhere from about 400 to 650. Just depends on that's just for the simple test. So I don't anticipate honestly being on the high end of it just because I'm new to it and I want to, you
Get the
know,
business.
I want the business of it. So in order to draw the business, I'll probably be on the low end of it. But a lot of those guys that have been around for a while, they charge on the high end of it, about 650 for a test. So I would anticipate that it'd be pretty small. The testing is not hard. I've done it. I've watched it. It's not hard. It's just the fact that me personally, you know, I wouldn't be able to generate a document that says, "Hey, I've tested it. It's been so that's why I had to go and have somebody get certified so that we can do that and be legal." And we're licensed, we're bonded, we have our workman's comp, we've got everything, all of our insurances are in place, and so we definitely are love to partner with you guys. I have a meeting tomorrow with Yes Realty out of Fresno, and so you know, this is you guys are, you know, my stakeholders. We're my real estate folks are my partners, and so I definitely, you know, would love to take care of you guys. And then of course, if things, you know, I reciprocate as well. I hear people all the time that want to buy homes or people that need certain levels of testing, lead, because I don't do lead or asbestos, and so you know, when I have those type of questions, I refer them to people that I know that I trust, and so. If you have those type of things, I'm sure a lot of you guys have been in this market industry before for a long period of time, so you know who to go to for that stuff. But if you didn't, then I could refer you to some folks as well. And we cover from Fresno County, Tulare, Kings, and then I dabble into Kern County whenever they call. I don't really try and go out that far because Bakersfield's way out there. And so right now, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with. I had to look it up on a map, but I'm working on a contract with Caltrans out of Bishop, way out there. I've never even been out there, and so is it? So, yeah, it's quite a drive. So I'm supposed to go out there next week. They have a 3-story building that their IT. It basically is just all IT, and it's been overran with rodents. So, you know, and of course, and I don't like to fear monger because I think a lot of the stuff in the news is, you know, but this whole hantavirus and all that other stuff. I mean, any kind of feces is going to be bad, you know what I mean? And so people ask me, what about the hantavirus? I'm like, for that, I'm not going to scare you into a contract. It's, you know, it's rat poop. Depending on how much it is, I tell you, just get rid of it and wipe it down and, you know, you'll be fine. But if there's a lot, you know, then absolutely you know, you need our services and stuff like that. So
Or if it's in the attic, because then you can't wipe it up.
correct, yeah. You know, and so and I'll be honest with you, there was a real estate agent in a home in Merced. They called me out to do, they had in their attic, but in the garage, there was a lot of rat droppings in there. And so they asked me to come out and give them a quote. I gave them the quote. And the owner didn't want to do it. And so I said, well, what are you going to do with all the rat droppings? They're like, well, that's not my problem after I sell the house. And so I was like, oh,
You can disclose that.
I was like, okay, yeah, but that's the thing, right? Like, and I didn't want to front them on. I didn't want to be like, well, are you better disclose it because I have information. I'm not going to do that, but it's like, you know,
They're supposed to disclose.
they're supposed to disclose it, right? And so, you know, it's just kind of one of those deals where I'm just like, so, you know, right. So, but we're here. We're a new company in as far as, you know, just kind of we're trying to get exposure. We launched back in December, and, you know, business has been picking up, and so it's starting to do well. People don't even realize that this thing is even in like existence. And so we are a franchise. This company is more well known, more along the East Coast and in the you know, central area like Texas and stuff like that. And so there's only been a couple here in California. There's myself. There's one in Sacramento, one in San Francisco, and one in Santa Clarita. So it's definitely something that it's a little bit of hard work as you know, being in law enforcement, trying to get into these attics and stuff like that is
Different.
it's different. It's different. And it's hot. I live in Visalia, yes. I do live here in Visalia. Now you look at my marketing will say Bio One Fresno. The franchise, their marketing folks basically told me that nobody's gonna know when they
Right.
Google Bio One Visalia. So they said use Fresno. There's 1 point something million people in Fresno. And so that's the reason why that's why my stuff that I print says just Bio One. And then it's like all my online marketing says Bio One Fresno because they make me.
Yeah. Well, you
So-
can also do the entire valley or whatever you're.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, but if you have any questions, we do free quotes. We'll come out. It'll be me or one of my technicians will come out and we'll take pictures, and then I'll load it up into a system and I'll send you guys a quote on anything, and then we're available. And again, we do referral business. So if you guys send something my way, I'll definitely kick you down.
If you guys get the
So-
referral card, you guys have to disclose that to your customer. Just to let you know I'm referring him,
Oh,
they might
okay.
give me an incentive.
Okay.
So that they gotta be aware that we have no issues with it so long as
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
disclosed. But you also do the easy stuff, regular cleanup.
Regular cleanup.
Trash outs.
Yep.
You do all the hard stuff that nobody wants.
Yes.
And the easy stuff too.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
you're-
I have
you're well.
a property owner in Exeter that just they had to evict somebody, and they were like, oh my God, they left a bunch of trash. And so they called and said, hey, can you do this? I go, yeah, absolutely. So we do. I don't like to talk badly about the junk removal folks. They've got their niche, but you know, I'm a one-stop shop. We can do it all. So now that we're adding the mold to our arsenal, we definitely would love to be able to work with you guys. So wonderful. You guys have my
Questions?
card, flyers, questions for anybody?
Interesting.
Very-
Really,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
a lot.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you for your
absolutely.
time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Thank you very much. You're already on the list, bro.
I'm already getting thirsty.
Yes. Well, one person likes you, that's.
Big tough. Yeah, all right. Video with Spino, Vero Mortgage. Pleasure to be here once again. As far as I'm concerned, people in corrections, they don't pay those guys enough money to do what they do. If you've ever been to a prison and walked around amongst the inmates and so on, you would know. It's a scary place. Anyway, I was a criminal justice major in college went on 2 field trips, 2 different prisons. And something else. I said, yeah, there's a reason why these guys are here. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna talk about this young man here. Real quick, I'd like to introduce Craig Sweeney. Craig, stand up, talk about who.
Come on, Craig.
I'm gonna listen to you. Who are you? What do you do?
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having Vero Mortgage and myself aboard. I'm one of the newest probies at Vero Mortgage. Jeremy hired me in last August. Previous to that, I started my career in hard money loans for finance companies, and it's back in the days when it was 19%, 9 points, and then I got involved in the insurance industry and estate planning. I did that for 30 years. I became a registered representative or an investment advisor. COVID basically shut down my business, and so I had to go in a different direction. And so talking to my wife, she said, you should go back and go get re-up your mortgage license. And so that's what I did. Jeremy called me, he said, you want to come aboard? And I said, no, I'm just not ready yet. This is when rates were just screaming through the roof. But in August, I decided to go. And so I handle everything from, conventional FHA, USDA, DSCR loans, specialty financing, anything you guys need or want, we can help with. And I'm just happy to be aboard. Thanks for having us this morning.
Thank you.
All right, I'm always talking about Cal Half is one of my favorite down payment assistance loans. But the Platinum, which is Golden State Finance Authority, GSFA, has a special going on from May through the end of June of this year, where Select is open to everybody. Select is a classification for down payment assistance primarily to law enforcement, first responders, teachers. You know, whenever a teacher says, hey, I'm a teacher, do I get any special kind of financing? This is it, okay? Anyway, through June 30th, which is this month, basically, they're offering it to anyone. So you don't have to be in that classification as law enforcement, first responders, or teachers. So it's only for a limited time. It may be extended out. Something tells me that they're trying to, they've got some extra funds, or that's what I'm thinking, and they need to spread the wealth, so to speak, okay? So one of the key features of Platinum that I keep in the back of my mind, like I said, I like CalHFA mostly because one thing, when you get that down payment assistance, you don't have to make payments on it right away. With a Platinum loan, you do have to make payments on it right away. So if you're getting 3% down payment assistance, the 3% is amortized over 15 years and it's added on as a second payment. So you got your first mortgage plus your second, taxes and insurance, and of course, mortgage insurance. Okay. Let's see. So this is good only till the end of this month. Down payment assistance, mortgage, like I said, 3.5% down payment assistance on FHA loans and conventional loans, up to 5.5% down payment assistance is what they offer on their programs. Okay, so you get 3.5% up front or 3% up front plus an additional 2 as a gift. Okay, so the gift means what?
Don't pay it back.
Yeah, I don't have to pay it back. That's right. It's kind of an incentive there. So it's only there for a limited time. So beware of that. If you have anybody that fits into that category, one other reason why I like to bring this up of Platinum programs is because every now and then you get somebody that's trying to qualify for that first home and they need a cosigner. Well, can my dad co-sign? Can my mom co-sign? That type of thing. Well, first question I have to ask is your mom or your dad or your co-signer, are they going to live in the house with you? Oh, no, they have their own house, right? Well, then, no, you can't do that with CalHFA. With Platinum, you can. Non-occupant co-borrowers are allowed.
That's a rate.
Huh?
That's a rate.
Good question. That's my next slide here. There's my slide there. Okay. Right now, it's very similar to the CalHFA loan. CalHFA this morning, I just looked it up, is down to 6% for an FHA. Okay. Conventional 6.25%. So this is broken down to FHA, USDA, VA right up on top. This middle section is for 80% of AMI, which is the, let me tell you what that dollar amount is right now. People with incomes at or no higher than $65,680. So 65,000 roughly qualifies for this middle section. As you can see, it's a little bit lower interest rate than we have here, about 0.25%. Also, the MI is different for this section right in here. Okay. By the way, conventional loan income limit 196,560. Personally, I think if you're making $190,000 a year, you probably don't need down payment assistance. That's my opinion, but some people. I did use this loan program for a referral of Century 21 last year. What it was some folks that had lots of income, but they didn't save it. And they didn't have it down. They didn't have a down payment. They had some money, but they didn't have enough to really do what they wanted to do. They had one kid going to college at Fresno State. They had the other daughter that was getting ready to go to Fresno State. And so the tuition and with the tuition fees and everything else, trying to get those kids to school, they thought, hey, instead of them driving back and forth or staying in a rental house or something like that. They bought property. And said the kids can stay there. It's right close by to school. They can go to class and that type of thing. How can we do that? Put them into the platinum program. Platinum program, remember, one of the key features is non-occupant co-borrowers are allowed. So even though we put the primary borrower as the student who is also working part-time somewhere, okay, going to school full-time and working part-time someplace. He was a primary, he had great credit, but he had very low income, so there was no way he was gonna qualify. Bring in mom and dad's income, who had big income, qualified with this program, not a problem. Gave them some down payment assistance. They own the property now, all three together. I don't know what's gonna happen when the kids graduate from school. I would imagine they may and eventually move out of the property, in which case. The owner or the father is already talking to me about refinancing the loan, getting out of the. Trying to lower the interest rate, because this was about a year or two ago when rates were a little bit higher. So it's a good program. We kind of keep it in our back pocket, and I don't really talk about it a whole lot, but all loan officers should know this program for your first time home buyers. Okay. Any questions? Yes.
What's a credit score?
What?
Credit score do you need?
Credit score.
Credit score 640. Good question. Yeah, 640 minimum. Rhonda? Oh, you're just scratching your head. Anyway, so it's a good program for first-time home buyers that have different needs. Okay, whether you're a first responder or a teacher, I'm sure teachers always come up to you and say, "Hey, I'm a teacher. Can I get some sort of special program?" Or I work for the county. Don't I get a special program? This is that program. Because I know I've seen these things. I had somebody, a friend of mine that works for the county, that actually showed me a copy of some special program, and it was GSFA. So she asked me about it, and sure enough, we did her home loan for her. Anyway, any other questions? We thank you very much for your business. Keep sending them over. We'll weed them out for you and hopefully get some good ones together. And once again, Craig Sweeney is also available if you want to do some business with him. I'm sure he's ready, willing, and able. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Neil.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you guys for always coming in and informing us and teaching us. Thank you. All right, let's roll. Work on your business, not in your business. Today, 10 a.m., right back in this room. I'm going to cut you guys out in about 10 minutes. So you guys can go return to emails, check phone calls. Then at 10 a.m., we're going to put it right up here. Want some more stuff? Okay. Oh, you have food right here for everybody. Fantastic. And so 10 a.m., did you make that on your own? Thank you. She brought in burritos for everybody. And so we'll do that. Should be a good training, but there's a lot of forms that got redone. So we got to go over all of those. And here we go. Permission to pivot, a mid-year check-in, save the date. That's on the 15th. This is a class of the month within your Century 21 system. So if you go to 21 online, this is a class. You can also scan that and get registered. But, you know, we push big at the beginning and at the end of every year with your business plan. But how many are really checking where you're at in your progress so far? I mean, we're in June, guys. I mean, at the end of this month, we'll be halfway through the month. Here's the nice part. If you're not where you want to be numbers wise, if you're not there financially, if you're not there transaction count, it's okay. We're in our busy season. And our busy season starts right like tax day. And it goes right through September, sometimes October. So this is your bread and butter months. This is the months that you get most of your transactions, most of your income. But you got to focus. You got to see where you're at and where you need to pivot and what you need to really focus on for the next couple months. So please, great class. Please be a part of that. All right, know the market. How many of you guys are looking at the market? Good. All of you should be raising your hands. I mean, let me do that again. How many are watching the market? What's for sale, doing CMAs, and doing that kind of stuff? Good. How often do you do it?
Every day.
Some of you do it every day. Great answer.
Twice a day.
Twice a day is even better. At the very least, even if you're not working with a customer for whatever reason, you should be doing it weekly. You should be really logging into the MLS every single chance you get, preferably daily. But that way you see what's coming on, what's new listing, what's pending, what's lowered on price, what's back on the market. It really gets you an idea of what's really out there, what's happening. For example, right now, how many days are on the market? You know what it was this year compared to last year. You know what prices have done. And so all of these things are really important. So please take a look at your market. If you scan that, there's actually a class that breaks down by state and nationwide. Nationwide is important because it tells you what's happening across the United States, really good with interest rates. But what's important to you? Does your customer care what's happening? Even out of this county, they care what's happening in their neighborhood. They want to know what their house is worth. So real estate will always be very local. So please take some of those classes now. Tech platform overview. So again, anybody that went to Vegas for the 121 event, they did a class, or really they put it up on the big screen, an overview of the Compass technologies. All that Compass technologies is coming your way next year. We don't know exactly when next year, but if you guys scan this, you guys can watch the video of what they did on stage and you guys can see it. Their claim to fame for Compass, for any of the online brokerage, whether it's Compass, whether it's Real, whether it's EXP, the only reason that they exist and their claim to fame for all of them is their technology. It's been what they've been pushing since the very beginning. And so you will now have access to it sometime next year. The importance to that to you is the Moxie platforms, all that stuff will be faded out next year when you get this stuff. One thing that will not be faded out is your Snap platform. That will be consistent. So get to know your Snap platform. Get to use that. I can help you with it. If you guys need some help, I can do some classes with you guys. So can Bob. But get to know what's coming your way. So please get to know it, get to use it, get familiar with it. You won't actually get to use it to sometime next year. But one of the reasons that Snap was invented within the select group of companies was because they got tired of every 3.5 years a new technology being put in place with corporate level. And frankly, I'm tired of that too, because Moxie Engagement been working on for about 3 years now. And now it'll be going. Before that, it was Zap. And before that, it was something else. And before that, it was something else. And Snap will be consistent, but hopefully this technology will be here to stay because they put about $1 billion into technology alone. Crazy, right? It's a lot of money. That's a lot of zeros. All right. Is anybody familiar with the screen? Does anybody not know what the screen is? I mean, maybe not you because we don't spend a lot of time on it, but everybody knows what this is. So please go in there. I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can find under buyer seller representation. At the top, they have all kinds of different things that you can get, but they have buyer and seller. You click on the two. These are the different brands. You know, Coldwell Bankers for Coldwell Bankers, so don't do that. But do any of the C2 ones, or the one that says select, and it's all branded to you. But all of the stuff is there. So please go in there, start using it. You cannot hurt the system. The only thing I want you to be careful in within the Snap platform is please be careful when you're messing with your website, because those are live changes to your actual website. Everything else, just go in there and see what you can click on and see what you can download and see what you can see. But here, there's a lot of scripts and the page keeps going. I mean, it's much longer than what's on the screen here. Here's a couple ways to have different conversations with your buyers and your sellers. And they're at your fingertip. And if you go to the website, you can actually pull the website up right on your phone, which means all of this stuff is available right on your phone. Although it's not an app per se, it's available right to your website on the phone. So all of this stuff is at your fingertips at all times. Here's another example of a different script. Here's what we're going to be covering. This is not, now we're off of Snap. Now we're back to the training at 10 a.m. But there's a lot. I mean, this page kept going. There's a couple of pages of just changes and updates to your contracts. And for those of you that don't know, now they update your forms every June and every December. Now, that doesn't mean all of your forms get updated, but the ones that do, and this is a significant one. There's some very significant changes that just happened on June 1st. If you print them in color, and if you go through it, you'll see that's in color, they're highlighted in red what all the changes are. But there's some really important changes that came your way that you got to be aware of them. So please be that. And shredded e-waste. Anybody have electronics they need to get rid of? No? Old computers, old screens, keyboards, mice. Not the ones that go through. This, not the ones that can bathroom. So that's this Thursday, June 4th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you take it there, they'll let you, just load up and then they'll take it from you. So it's a good way to do it. Do you guys know what they do with all that stuff? Goes to China. China melts it down. They take all the gold out, all the valuable metals, and then they redo it. And then they let that somewhere go back into the ocean. All the chemicals and that. That's why they don't do it here. Everybody here is scared. a lot of chemicals in it, so they send them over there, they do the bad work and they ship all the big stuff back. I mean, it's nuts. They're just doing it the wrong way too. They're just doing it at cheap price. Now, do you know who owns 90% of all the coal mines and mineral mines in the United States? China owns 90% of all in the United States. You know why? American companies got tired of being sued for all the stuff in which they were created. Still being created, but now it's just owned by a different country. You know, it's crazy. So anyways,
Do we have to erase anything on?
only if you want to. If you want everybody to know all your stuff, have your pictures, that's fine. Leave it there. So it'll be in China on some website. Don't worry about it. Nobody knows you there. Yeah, nobody knows you in China. I don't doubt that somebody tries to steal information off the stuff first. So if you can destroy it, destroy it. But the answer to that is it's your stuff. You get to decide whether you want to destroy it or not. I'd hit it with some hammers and bend it in half and run it over my car before I give it to them. But that's just me.
This at the board office.
It is. It's right in the parking lot. Yeah. So sorry, Dan, I didn't have a better answer for you. Yes.
Reality.
Wake Up YPN, introducing core, Realtor Action Fund, and some more. So anyway, there's a lot. It's summertime. It's summertime with Realtor Networks, so there's just going to be a lot of events. Please use your best judgment if you go out there. Yeah, there's just a lot going on with events. This one's Wednesday, June 10th at Sunny Hide Up, which used to be the Lamplighter, but now it's called Sunny Hide Up. So I'll play on their name. Oh, helping one woman. This one's important. This is June 16th. Again, this is part of this. So Esmeralda, I teased her and I called her my cousin. She does obviously she's she's an LO within that company. But for those of you that don't know Esmeralda, she's done a couple of things in here like we will do this morning. She has lupus. And several years ago, and she has a family, several years ago, she was in really bad health. And one of her sisters gave her a kidney. And so she's been doing good with that kidney for several years, probably 10, 13 years. Now she needs another kidney. Luckily, she has another sister that's given her another kidney. But even though if you talk to her and you see her, you may think she's doing fine. She has some very serious health issues going on. And so they're raising money for her. She has to be off of work for about 3 to 4 months. And you know that when you're not working, there's no.
Is this Esmeralda from Core?
This is Esmeralda from Core. Yeah. And she has lupus and she's undergoing. The day after that, she's going in for surgery unless it gets delayed for kidney transplant.
Like 7.
Yeah. So this is her second kidney transplant. So you wouldn't know it. She doesn't put it out there. She's a great person, but she has some serious things going on. And so if you guys can help, that's what this event is about. 6 p.m. at the Woodlands. Please do what you can. They're accepting donations of baskets that can be raffled off or just financial donations. But this event is for her. But she was going to be there, but they actually got to schedule the surgery for the day after. She has to be in rest. So please, if you guys can help with this, please help with this. Any questions? Cool. Another one, Sunset at the Station. There's just a lot. We'll email these to you. I can go, they probably have 17 of these things going on right now. This one's a good one. This is June 25th. That'll be, I think that's Thursday, but anyways, that's for Realtor members only. It's completely free. Lunch is included. Just sign up so that it's limited seating. So if they do happen to get enough registrations, you'll be out. So please sign up for that. Who wants a free lunch? Who wants to get some information? The 3 of you should sign up. Everybody else should think about it. Remember meetup? Look, anybody knows in real estate, it doesn't matter how long you've been in real estate. If you have a listing and you get an offer and you're wondering like, who is this person? I don't know who this person is. How long have I been in real estate? And then you get another offer. And if the offers were identical and you know one agent and you don't know the other one, which offer are you going to accept? Is it fair or is it right? Who knows? But the reality is that's how we do business because you can't vouch for somebody that you don't know. Also, if you're the buyer's agent and nobody knows you and you're making offers, you want to get known, want to know who the agents are. So this is a new agent meetup. It's done for new agents or anybody who wants to meet some of the new agents that are coming into the business. So great idea. Not sure why they haven't done more of these, but this is that. And for any of you who are just starting to do business, because you guys have been, I don't know, not doing business for a while, you might be considered a new agent. They haven't seen your name in a while. So you might want to go to that too. So please put that on your calendars. So it's Tuesday, June 30th. Yeah, I don't know what the Salty Walrus is, but it sounds like a bar. There's no idea.
The brewing company.
There you go. What is Salty Walrus Brewing Company? That's the hell of a name, isn't it?
Valley Oaks Drive.
Valley Oaks.
Yeah. That's what it was. I think it's
Right across the street.
Is it where the pool shop used to be?
I think so, yeah.
There you go, see? So put that on there. Make sure to say your expectations out loud, or better yet, in writing. They are only real if they're in writing. How many have been disappointed by a restaurant experience or a hotel experience? Anybody? Ooh. Do you think that your customers feel the same way about you sometimes? Did you meet their expectations? Did you exceed their expectations? Do you know what they even want from you? Have you even had that conversation with them? You know, when we did this merger, here's just a side story that kind of connects to this for some reason. I'm not sure why. But I was in Fresno meeting the new office that just merged in with Select. We shut their office down. We just cleaned it up last week. And all of those agents are now in our office. And I met this guy. Won't say his name. Actually, I don't think it matters if I say his name. But he seems to be my age. Talked to him. He's actually like 4 years older. He just looks younger than I do. I don't know. Maybe it's because he's not a broker. But as I was talking to him, I said, what have you learned in real estate in the last 20 years? Like, what is it? If you could go back in time with all the experience you have now, what would you tell your younger self in real estate? Because that's what I want you to share with some of the new agents that we have here today. And I just was having this conversation with him. That's exactly what I told him. And he sat down for about 30 seconds. He says, I got something that hasn't left my mind. He said, my very first transaction, he says, he came out, he retired from his job, and he went to work for a friend of his in real estate who has a very small office, literally him and the broker. And he says, what this guy told me to do is he told me to go knock on some doors to try to get some listings. So I did. And guess what happened on the first weekend that I went out? I said, well, you must have got a listing because you're telling me about the story. He says, yeah. I knocked on some doors and the guy actually came out and said, you know, my wife and I have been considering selling our house. He took the listing, first listing ever, first transaction ever, working with a friend of his who's been in the business for a while. Actually, was the guy who sold him his house. And he listed the property and he sold it. And I said, what's about this that hasn't left you? Because you had success? He said, no. He says, these people had nowhere to go. We sold their house. They got over 100 grand that they made in equity. They put it in their pocket and they rented it back from the buyer because the buyer was an investor. And they rented their own house back. And they went and they bought a boat and they bought toys and they bought all kinds of stuff. And about a year and a half later, they got evicted. And all of their money that they made was gone. He says, I was brand new. I didn't know that I was supposed to be having a conversation with the sellers about where are they going next. He says, I never got that training. I never have forgotten it. That has stayed with me to this day. I've seen the guy. They don't blame me for it. They took the money and did whatever they wanted with it. It was their money to do. He says, but I wasn't educated enough in real estate or experienced enough to have a conversation. Had I known that they had no plan of where they were going to go to next, I probably wouldn't have taken the listing. And he says, that has stayed with me because that was my very first transaction.
Wow.
How many of our agents have maybe done something similar because they had no experience? You got to remember, what is the expectation of your customer from you? That's one of the first things that I tell them who's taking the first listing. Before you take that listing, Diane, make sure you have a conversation with the sellers. Where are they going to next? What do we hate when we're about to close escrow and the sellers are still in the house? I mean, isn't that frustrating? Have you had a conversation with them about where they're going to next? What is their expectation? What is it that they want to do after they sell this house? Have that conversation with your customers before you list it. And if you know their expectations, then you know what you can do to not only do a good job, but exceed their expectations. And so if your expectations are not in writing, or if you're not getting them from your customer, they don't really exist because we're all human and we're going to forget some of what we've been told. Most of you will forget the story tomorrow because Larry's half asleep. But, you know, but the reality is, please put it in writing. Larry, I'm just teasing. So there's that. Let's go beyond all of this. We've done that one. Ooh.
Don't
I
let agents try to sell them another house after.
Have that conversation beforehand. So let's do this. That has happened. We've actually we've had this situation. Let's say that they're now retired and they don't qualify income wise. They can't replace and go buy a new house for the payment they have now. Payment is going to go up no matter what, and they don't qualify anymore. Always make sure you're talking to a lender before you sell their house, if they plan on buying a new one after they sell this one. So anyways, this is going to start here in about 15 minutes. I'm going to cut you guys loose, but let's go over coming soons and haves and wants first. Do we have any coming soons? We'll start with you, right here.
I'll have 2 properties on one lot in Porterville. In mid-June,
Mid-June
397
for 2 houses.
for 2 houses. Each one is 1,094 square feet. One is 4.2, the other's 3.2.
In 1,000 square feet.
1,092 each. Mhm.
Wow.
Single family with a. With the
Single family garage.
ADU? Is that what it is, or?
No, there's two houses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a cul-de-sac lot, and they divided down the middle, and it's basically became.
Oh, yeah.
How
that's what it's now.
Okay,
We'll list it at 397.
397?
Perfect. Coming up soon, so you have a buyer. Michael, go, I'm sorry, real quick, sorry, Peggy.
I
Go
have a
ahead.
question.
I need a question for you.
Approximately what's the size of that lot?
About 5,000 total.
8,000,
Is it 8,000 total?
just a little bit over 8,000.
Yeah, it's high density, they're packed into it.
The reason I ask is because, the city will allow you to split that lot. Two separate houses.
Yeah, I was surprised that it was one APN.
Two separate APNs.
I agree. There's definitely some equity to be built and earned on this property if somebody would put some money in. So that's definitely a good possibility. Peggy, over to you.
Christina, coming up, I don't think we'll make it by Friday, it'll probably be Monday, over by Oak Grove School. It's 2-story, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, there is a full bathroom and bedroom downstairs, about 10 feet, with a 3-car garage. They just re-landscaped all the back, but painted and everything. The only thing we're not sure of, if carpet will be marginal or if it'll clean up okay. And, put a new patio roof on, we're gonna be 469.9, so about 209 foot on it.
Sounds good.
They want to move on that one. And I really need help on my little condo townhouse out of Burke, 807 East Carroll. She's texting me this morning saying, figure my nets in my line, so we're at 299.9. And it's a 3 and 2 with inside laundry, all painted new carpet. Some people's complaint was that it just has an attached wall.
Yeah,
With the
to
neighbor,
the neighbor.
but it's, no HOA. And it has a big yard, but the yard needs a little work, so if you've got anybody 290, 295, that one's probably gonna reduce someone in there.
Anybody who likes condo living, less maintenance overall, more traveling, and more ease of life, yeah.
Yeah, and it'd make a great rental. 2-car garage inside laundry.
Two-car garage, awesome.
I need help with that one.
Please send that out to the chat or send it to me and I'll get it out to everybody. Dave, over to you.
I've got a nice house coming up in Exeter, on the golf course. It's a 2-story pool. Beautiful house, 3 golf balls.
That's good, Dave.
Yeah, no, I've been getting them I sold the house to him 6 years ago.
He gives you buckets of balls.
Gives me buckets of balls.
That's cool.
It'll be
Go
about-
ahead.
it'll be 640.
640, 5-bedroom, 2-bath, and Exeter doesn't sound bad at all on the golf course. Good listing. Peggy?
It's on the golf course, yeah.
Just looking for a house that's, they preferably prefer 5-bedroom, 3 baths. But they need Visalia, they like that Del Lago area too. But their big requirements are that there's a bedroom and a full bath downstairs. They'll go a 2 or 3-car garage, and then, the pool is a big thing.
They want a pool?
Yes. I know the single or 2-story, but it's have a bedroom, bathroom downstairs type of thing, that's cool. And they'll go probably, I can probably push them 6.25.
You have a price range, this is about finding that right property for them.
Yeah, there's just, I mean, really nothing out there right now. We've gone through everything that there is, or it needs so much work. I mean, I hate to say I shown property this weekend.
Not nice.
Just go, I mean, try to get your people to clean up these vacant houses. This one, cobwebs are on the door.
Somebody, you need to leave flyers for bio one. So they can go in there.
Yeah. Just figure it out, list them, and then nobody, if they're out of town by sellers, they just.
They just kind of sit.
We're gonna have one by La Jolla Junior High. It's 1425 square feet, built in 1990. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, new fence on part, one side isn't new. 2 new gates, new paint on the inside, new carpet, within walking distance to La Jolla, Linwood, and El Diamante.
Good. Very
It should be on like the beginning of next week.
good. Jump on that listen. Price roughly?
$379.
Peggy, did you have something else? No. So I didn't know if I cut you off, so I apologize if I did. All right, guys, everybody come back in this room in 10 minutes. Thank you all for being here.